Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I just wanted to talk about my custom Steaming Mary with lights and sounds. I've done a few videos on my whole layout. This is all supposed to be sort of like a shooting gallery. So if you have a little laser pointer, I made a little laser pointer gun. You can shoot at the little targets and then it causes things inside the layout to do stuff. This is sort of inspired by the Disneyland shooting arcade they have in Frontierland. But the most advanced target I think that I set up was this train, because it will automatically park itself in the same spot. And so this is using DCC technology, or DCC++. This is the first time I've really ever worked with something like this, but most people will use it to make an automated train layout that they can talk to all the different trains that are on it and control the switches, and you can get really extensive with it. I didn't really see anybody though that made a self-automated train that basically will control itself and doesn't need to be connected to a laptop or phone to move, and it will self-regulate itself all right here in this controller. And so right here is the target for the train. I never moved it into the layout like all these other ones that have little paper targets on top, but it's the same concept, and basically you just shoot the little photo cell that's on it and it'll tell the train to start moving. Now the tracks are a bit dirty because I haven't really done anything with this layout for a few months. And the target will relight when the train makes one lap around, so that it'll do the whistle if you shoot the target again. So there was the little demonstration of what the train does. This is definitely the most advanced Steaming Mary I think I've seen, because most of them, I mean, by default this train doesn't have any lights. And so now it actually has a light inside of the lantern, a light inside of the cab, and a little lantern here on the back of the tender as well. And there's also a little headlight that will turn on in addition when the train is moving. So if I shoot it again, you see that the headlight turned on and the lantern there turned on as well. And so then you can actually see what's ahead of the train because of that little headlight. Because otherwise that lantern doesn't really do much. Also, I didn't really want to drill holes in the train, so all of these modifications are actually removable, because I haven't permanently modified anything. The most I've maybe done is held some stuff in place with hot glue, just to make sure it won't move unless I want to take it off, but you can remove that sort of stuff with rubbing alcohol pretty easy. And these are just done with a little bit of masking tape on the sides. Yeah, so all this you can see in here, these are just done with really thin copper wires so that I can still click the plastic pieces together. And then in between the engine and tender, I just have a servo plug connection, and one of them is positive, one of them is negative, and one of them is optionally on for the headlight. So the interior cab and this light are always on, and then the other negative is just for the front little lantern there. Inside the tender is where the DCC++ decoder is, and it's connected to the motor. So basically the DCC decoder is connected to the track pickup contacts, so it always has power from the track. And then it will decode signals sent to it through the track rails and then tell the engine to start going or to turn on and off the lights, etc. This is a Blue Nami DCC decoder. It was the largest one they had. I don't remember the serial number off the top of my head. If anybody has questions about it, let me know. So that was expensive. Those are like $300, $200. So this was also the most expensive target I made for this whole layout. Because all the other ones are all just little Arduinos that I soldered together and programmed the lights and everything myself. And you can get NeoPixel lights pretty cheap now from China. So I just usually get WS2812B NeoPixel lights. So these here come in strips. Same thing as like what's back here and in the church. Like these are all just little strip lights. So you can cut them to length and then just tell the Arduino, here's what the strip looks like. So they have 3 wires, a positive 5-volt ground and then data in the middle. And so you just feed the data line through. The mine is the most advanced because it has the most separate NeoPixel strands, and it also has you'll see here in a second how there's actually little footsteps that'll go on the sand. So those are just backlit. And again, all of these except for that one are non-permanent modifications. So all of these I can just unstick if I wanted to. This one I repainted and I drilled holes and stuff so that I could put in a servo to lift up the skeleton. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. The train, as far as its controller goes, I used a DCC code. Again, I can't remember because now I created this thing in July, so it's been a while since I actually made this. This was a pre-written DCC code that was meant to control a train, a DCC capable train, with an Arduino. And normally you would connect this with a laptop. So basically you have an Arduino Mega on the bottom. Then there was this special hat that I bought that was DCC EX. I think they were the ones who also made the code. And then it's just meant to have a laptop connected with USB to just tell it what to do and when and all that stuff. Because there's all these pre-written serial commands that you just send a serial message and it will tell the train or the switches and stuff what to do. So I just got kind of smart, and instead of trying to modify their original code and tweaking it and just messing all of it up, what I did is I took an Arduino Nano and only soldered a few pins to it. So you can see I just have 2 pins there to give it power and ground, and you just line it up with the through terminals there where you can see ground and the positive 5-volt. So you just carefully line that up in the right spot and it'll actually get power through this. All my other things were kind of custom soldered, so I just got these cheap Arduino Nanos from China, and they're not true Arduino Nanos, they're knockoffs, but I just soldered whatever lights or things I needed to them directly, and they're smaller than other Arduinos, so then I could stick them in places that were kind of tight spots. And then I just simply soldered a little jumper that you'd see for like a breadboard to the transmit lead, and then put it into the receive serial lead for the Arduino Mega. So then this thing has the target on it as well. So that's what these wires are, is the power and stuff for the LED and for the photocell resistor. Another thing that this is doing is it has a reed switch connected. So that's what these wires are. It's basically the train has a magnet attached to the bottom of it, so that when it goes around the track, this Arduino on the top will see, okay, it went past this spot, so that then it can know what to do with the target. So yeah, basically all the peripherals and sensors and stuff are connected to this Arduino Nano, and then it pretends to be a laptop that's being automated by a human. So then it transmits to the larger Arduino. So it basically, if you shoot the target, it'll tell the train to start up the whistle and the bell, and then to go at a certain speed, just like the laptop would have done. And you can probably see that the LEDs will blink when it's sending a command. This blue light signifies that the target light is lit. So you can see here. That little LED would blink when it's sending a serial command. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. If anybody wants to make an easy DCC automated setup where you just press a button or do something so that it's crowd interactive, if you were taking it somewhere and you wanted someone to be able to tell the train to go, it's pretty easy if you don't want to deal with modifying the original code to just make a little hat Arduino for the top. So then all you have to do is plug in your little hat Arduino and program it with your list of commands, and then that way the code is a lot less overwhelming as well. So you can just make your little hat there that has your peripherals like the reed switch and stuff, to then make your train do what you're wanting without needing to control it. What's also nice about the Blue NAMI board that I put inside of Steaming Mary is that you can program it from Bluetooth with your phone. So then you don't necessarily need any of this setup. You could just control Steaming Mary with your phone and it would work just as well. And also, if anybody's wondering about the coaches, you're not supposed to push your train, but the coaches are actually controlled with one Arduino inside of one of the coaches. So basically, if I wanted to uncouple this, it's just a little barrel plug connection to the tender so it can get power. So the tender has a 5-volt regulated power supply, not run through the Blue NAMI. It's actually its own little board that I put in so that it can handle more amperage for running more NeoPixels and stuff. I was originally planning on electrifying those two coaches and the caboose as well, but for now these were all I had made. So these are just very simple. Again, so both of these are linked to one Arduino because I didn't want to sit and put an Arduino in each one. So basically, I think this one in the front has the Arduino in it. And there is a DC barrel plug and a servo connection in between these two cars, which looks a bit janky, not the best. But those are the peripherals. So basically the DC barrel plug powers the lights in this one, and that's a straight run through. So the NeoPixels aren't being run off the Arduino. NeoPixels can take up a lot of power if you're not careful, so the DC barrel plug is also meant to be able to supply outward to the next car. So that's your 5-volt positive ground. And then, can't remember my wiring off the top of my head, but these would be connection for the NeoPixels in here, so a data line. And then you got a photocell data line, and then a 5-volt for the little light there. So the Arduino will be able to send a positive 5-volt to this one to get the little target light to turn off after you've shot the target. And all these ones do is they just turn off the lights momentarily in the coaches, and then they turn back on after a certain amount of time. Again, I was originally planning on updating the code for these so that there would be a reed switch in one of them, so that then I could put a magnet on the tracks to get the targets to relight at an exact moment. So if you shot them as they're going around the track, they wouldn't relight until they're in the tunnel. But yeah, so that's just the Arduino's in here and then getting them to go. If anybody has questions and I didn't explain something correctly, let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to help people out. And I'm also happy to post my code. I've done that for a few other projects. The DCC code is something else, so I could probably find a link to it, and you can download that and put it on your Arduino Mega. That one requires more space as well because of it's so extensive with how many commands you can put into it and all the different stuff it manages. But my code is just pretty simple, where it has send a serial command, and then depending on different situations, to send another one or whatever. Yeah, hope anybody will be able to make this, and yeah, if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out. You can see the little lights from the Arduino under there. So thank you for watching, and be sure to check out the other videos on my channel.